I'm going to try to make a video so that you guys can follow along and don't need to keep pausing and waiting for me to come over and asking for help. So right now you should have Friday's warm-up done, and you should set it in the middle of the group desks. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, you're going to take a poker chip. So let me grab a poker chip. Should be in your container. And you also probably want to grab this formula chart and set it to the side, because you will need one of the formulas today. Okay, so step 2 says take one poker chip and set it on your desk. So I'm gonna set that and try to set it right over that other poker chip, the one drawn on the paper. Of course, mine is 3D and that one's 2D, but it will work. So number 1 says, what is the area of the circle? Well, if you look on your formula chart, area of the circle, area, circle, right here, follow it over. A equals pi times the radius to the second power, or pi r squared. Okay, so I've already written that down for you. So now you just need to fill it out. So A equals pi, we have the pi button on our calculator, so we don't have to do anything there. The radius of this circle, remember, this is the diameter because it's all the way across the circle. Radius is half of that, so radius should be 2. Same thing we did for finding volume of spheres. You have to find the radius. So this would be 2, and then to the second power. Okay, so if I type that in my calculator, A equals pi r squared, whatever you get goes here. Okay, it says now stack one chip on top. So I'm gonna go to my container, so I can get another chip out. I'm gonna stack that on top of it. There we go. Okay, so if you look, you can see now it's 2 chips. Area of chip. Okay, so the area of the first chip and all the chips is this number right here, whatever you got here. So this number goes here as well. So go ahead and write that same number. It says height of the 3D shape. So this is my 3D shape. Might know what shape I'm trying to make, but if you don't, it's okay. It says how many chips tall is it? It is 2 chips tall. Okay, now I'm filling out my table. It says area of the base. Remember, your base is the circle, so it's the same thing every time. So this goes for all of these because that area of the base is not changing for this problem. Then the number of chips, okay? So here I have 2 chips, which means it's 2 chips tall. So if it's 1 chip, it's 1 chip tall. 2 chips, 2 chips tall, and keep going. Now this says total number of cubed centimeters. Okay, so cubed centimeters looks like this, centimeters cubed, which means we're trying to find the volume, the inside. Okay, so what's the process? Well, let's look at this. If you look at your formula chart, volume of a cylinder, you will get V equals capital BH. Okay, so process. V equals capital BH. So what is capital B? Some of y'all will say base. Actually, it's not just the base. It's the area of the base. So we're going to take this number and multiply it by the height, and we'll get the process. Okay? Same thing every time. So take the area of the base, capital B, times the height, and you'll get your total number of cubed centimeters. The process is your work shown. So that's where you would put whatever this number is times this. Okay, so you fill out that whole table. Now you can do it, you can keep stacking on top if you want, but eventually you will run out of chips. Okay, now if you do anything with those chips, like throw them across the room or do anything you're not supposed to, I'll just take them from you because technically you don't need them for this. I just thought it added a little more fun, and they're not my chips either, so please take care of them. Okay, so this says how many centimeters would you need if there were 8 chips? So if there's 8 chips, your height would be 8. You already know what your area of the base is. So 8 layers would be times 8. So this number, the area of the base, times 8. 22 layers, that number times 22. Okay, you'll have to actually find out what that equals. How did you determine the total number of centimeters that were needed in question 4? Okay, so this is when we actually write about the math that we did for the 8 layers and the 22 layers. I determined the total number of centimeters that were needed by, you can see you should have something about multiplying. Okay, something about multiplying this by this. Pause if you need a pause. What mathematical term could be used to describe the total number of centimeters in this 3-dimensional figure? Well, think about it. Mathematical term, we can use something on this chart. Which part of this chart did we use? Separated by sections, linear equations, circumference, area, surface area, volume, or additional information. Which section did we use? And that's what would go here. Okay, now flipping on the back. Oh no, I just knocked my chips down. Flipping on the back. Okay, so now all we're doing is we're changing the base, the circle. Okay, so area of the circle. Remember, you're using the formula, area of a circle, pi r squared. Okay, so that's what you would write here. A equals pi r squared. So now you just need to find the radius, substitute it in, and see what you get. How many dimensionals is that circle? Is it 1D, 2D, or 3D? Next one. Okay, so now you got 3 layers of circles stacked, or 3 chips stacked. So what would you do with the area if you had 3 of them? And find your answer. Name of this shape. What shape would that be? And keep going throughout this whole paper. Okay. If you need any help, let me know, but you should watch this video first before you ask me for help. Good luck.